anyone who blocks my path.
The blood that flows through her veins is special, and extremely dangerous. If showing pity would put my allies in danger, I will not hesitate to kill
Renato was always such a kind man.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Fire Emblem Three Houses. Last episode, we successfully led Ash to destroyinate his dad, or his adopted dad. Again, I know I said this in the episode. I do kind of wish they just had it be Ash's actual dad. I think that would be a lot more poignant. Although I guess they wanted to give Ash some believability that he would actually go against his father. And I guess, you know, having him be his biological father, that might be a hard pill to swallow.
Everyone in the village was so nice to me, and I killed them. I killed them all.
Okay, Ash, don't oversell yourself. You only got the final blow in like 2.
I had to. I know I had to. I know that. But still, what does that make me?
I mean, that's the problem. When you're a warrior, you end up killing people, and some of them being people you didn't want to kill.
Please, don't beat yourself up, Ash. We did what had to be done.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be bothering you. I'm going to check on the town. I hope my brother and sister are okay.
Wow, that would be extra. What if, like, his brother and sister were killed in reprisal for the fact they knew he was in the army?
That was my first time killing civilians, too. Those who I'm sworn to protect.
Okay, there was literally no one in that battle that counts as a civilian. At the point where you put on armor and pick up a sword, you are no longer a civilian. That's the reality of war. I'm not going to say it's a necessary sacrifice.
Are you insane? Those weren't knights or soldiers, but fathers and sons. We shouldn't have killed them. We should have found another way.
What are you talking about? Dude, they put on armor and picked up swords and came to kill us, and were frankly stronger than we were. It was my brilliant tacticianing.
I'm sorry. It's not fair for me to blame you for the circumstance.
No, it is not.
I know that if we hadn't done what we did, even more civilian lives would have been lost.
I do like that he's struggling with us. I do have to wonder why he keeps calling them civilians, though. Like, and maybe this is me not having the same vernacular that everyone else does, but for me, a civilian is someone that is a non-combatant. At the point where you are actively engaging in combat, you're no longer a civilian.
At least my mind understands that, but my heart... Professor... Those in power, no matter the era, always claim they fight for a just cause, that they take life to protect it. But is it truly okay to take any life you please, all in service of some implacable just cause?
I mean, it depends what you mean by any life. The big answer, and I am glad, this is way deeper than Claude ever got into any of this. You should exhaust every other possible route before you move into slaughtering your enemies. And I will admit, based on what we know here, we do not know that's the case. We know that the Lord was marshaling an army to attack the church. So, based on the circumstances, I definitely feel force was justified. But yeah, we don't actually know how, what all routes of diplomacy were exhausted prior to them sending us out. Because again, we were the other big question I have, and this is a big question I have, because they apparently slipped past the army in the mist, but then attacked the rear guard? Like, why? Why didn't they just stay hidden? What was the point in attacking us?
Lord Renato didn't take up arms out of a lust for power. He simply believed his cause to be just. Who's to say it wasn't?
But his cause was the slaughter of everyone at Garreg Mach. Like, he wasn't just going there to kill Rhea, as far as I know. He was going there because he hated the church and he wanted to put the church to the sword. Although, admittedly, that is what we were told.
Maybe we didn't have to cut him down like that. Maybe we could have reached a mutual understanding. found a path of peace. I have to believe that. Perhaps the notion sounds laughable to you. Mere lip service to naive ideals. But I can't believe otherwise.
Sorry to intrude, but this incident may be more serious than anticipated.
That's interesting. That's the same line she gave to Claude, but it's so interesting. You know, in this context, it almost makes her seem callous or, like, disconnected. Because here he is talking about how, like, overwhelmingly serious and heavy this is, and she's like, yeah, actually, shut up.
I found this on Lord Lenato. It's a note that mentions a plan to assassinate Lady Rhea.
How do you know you haven't broken the seal yet? I think Catherine's in on it.
We can't tell who sent it, so the source is suspect. But the content is too disturbing to ignore. We must report this to Lady Rhea right away. I hope that it's nothing.
Oh, it definitely isn't. I guarantee.
I'm glad to see that you have returned safely. The goddess is gracious with her divine protection. But it was not only her divine protection that shielded you, was it? You are just as skilled as I had hoped.
Aw, thanks.
I am not so sure.
I am. Although, actually, I was pretty seismic in that.
I heard some of the students were hesitant about fighting militia.
Only after the fact.
However, we must punish any sinner who may inflict harm upon believers, even if those sinners are civilians.
With death? Although I guess inflict harm upon believers. Again, I wish I knew what Lord Lenato was actually planning on doing.
I pray the students learned a valuable lesson about the fate that awaits all who are foolish enough to point their blades towards the heavens.
Our real concern is what Catherine reported. The secret message that was in Lord Lenato's possession.
Well, I also wonder where Catherine found it. How secret was it?
It contained a deplorable plot to target the Archbishop on the day of the goddess's rite of rebirth. The plan seems unrealistic at best, but a threat is a threat. We must maintain constant vigilance. To that end, I would like for you and your students to help with security on the day of the ritual.
All right, we can do that. We'll probably end up in the catacombs.
Even if they encounter an enemy whom they cannot best, they should be fine, so long as they have you on their side.
Wait, what? Even if you can't win, don't worry, just have hope. The protagonist will never be defeated. Oh, that's some game logic right there.
The rite of rebirth is of paramount importance. It is when the Church of Seros and its believers unite to pray for the return of the goddess. The Archbishop and I will be confined to the Goddess Tower once the ritual begins. Of course, the Knights will be on high alert as well, but there aren't enough of them to keep watch on every corner of the monastery. It is far from ideal to be forced to mobilize students, but the gravity of this situation requires that we all bend to avoid breaking.
While there is no need to fear for my safety, we cannot turn a blind eye to those who would blaspheme so heinously.
Again, and this is definitely where I started getting the like palpitations or the like taste of religious zealotry, which obviously makes sense. Of course, Rey is going to be a zealot, but it's just like I don't think it's that what she's saying bothers me. I think it's the fact that she keeps on effectively implying that don't worry, they're just sinners. Their deaths don't matter. And I'm like, dude.
With any luck, this will all be for naught. Still, be on your guard.
Mutiny of the Mist.
Part 1. White Clouds. Blue Sea Moon. The Goddess's Rite of Rebirth. As the sun grows stronger and the nights grow ever shorter, the Blue Sea Star returns to the sky once more.
Well, I missed it.
Believed to be the goddess's home, her followers look to the star and commence celebrations of her rebirth. On the grounds of Garreg Mach Monastery, a grand ceremony is held in honor of this much anticipated event. Every true follower
And some of the fake
Church
ones.
of Seros is sure to be in attendance.
All right. And now it's time for social links. Linky SoCal. You just have something to say. Casper's birthday. Yes, because I can't take you to tea yet. Oh, absolutely. I actually kept putting this off last time because after some of the like optional battles, a lot of them had built up to this, but I wanted to show it on camera.
Hey, Professor, what's going on?
What's going on? Oh, I've seen this before. There's a suspicious man.
A suspicious man? Where? Oh, is that him?
Yeah, I've seen this before. He runs off and gets them.
What do you think he's up? Keep what? My instinct. Come on. Huh? There's no way.
He is super.
I am not. It's just if that were
Great.
but there is no the only if this in are you. Oh, I
What are you? Those kids. I couldn't just.
Okay, yep, definitely remember that. There are actually a lot of them. Okay, none of the other ones are triggering. Not yet, anyway.
So, our task for this moon is to patrol and guard the monastery, to help put a stop to that assassination plot.
Yes, I agree.
The knights will certainly have their hands full protecting Lady Rhea, and perhaps our enemy is counting on that.
Please, elaborate.
Why would Lord Lonato be carrying around a secret note with an assassination plot written on it?
It's interesting that Dimitri is just as good at unraveling schemes as Claude is, or perhaps even better.
Isn't it possible he hoped to monopolize everyone's attention with this alleged plot, in order to distract from his true aim?
Maybe they're after the treasure vault. There's also lots of valuable stuff in the library and Professor Hanneman's quarters.
Well, Kitty, don't take my mic away. I need that.
True. The monastery undoubtedly houses many weapons that rival even the heroes' relics.
Whatever their aim, we can't allow any harm to come to the ladies of the monastery. I mean, what would I do with my spare time?
You know, you could commit to just one.
You mean to say we should search the monastery, try to find what the enemy is truly after?
Yes. And we should be prepared to fight them as well, should it come to that. I wouldn't mind getting in some training, just in case.
A secret meeting, Professor?
Absolutely.
Oh, we haven't been introduced. I am Shamir.
Oh, I know who you are.
Shamir is one of the Knights of Seros, and this young man here is...
I work for Lady Rhea, and I'm Shamir's apprentice. Oh, the name's Cyril. Yep, she's teaching me about the bow and the sword and all kinds of stuff.
Good old Cyril.
I've got to protect Lady Rhea, so that's why I've got to learn all I can from Shamir.
Cyril adores Rhea. That aside, if you need anything, ask.
That was a rather awkward and somewhat forced introduction. Interesting, I'm not allowed to seminar or anything. So yeah, he actually made it to level 10 before I did, and that's really lame. Okay, so you can become a cavalier. 100%. So yeah, I think Cavalier is fine for him. He is very much the Lancer right now. No reason not to, so says I. Though we'll obviously have, with all of the battles we can partake in, we'll be higher next time. Higher in the next.
Good results.
+2 magic? Really? That's what you get for Cavalier? Okay, so yeah, you did finish off Soldier. And Cavalier gives you +2, and like, okay, cool. Cool beans. Alright, and now we'll go ahead and hit all of our wonderful social links. Hello, friend.
A hero's relic. Quite so. The stone within the sword. A glow of red. Oh, it is nothing.
It's definitely something, although I already know what it is. Because I'm smart. Okay, so, to-do we have? What? Are you... Oh, okay, that's the greenhouse. I was like, is he scrubbing the tree's root? ...
Did you want something?
Okay, kitty, please.
I see. If you have the time, then please assist me.
Oh wow, I didn't actually expect him to ask that.
I am to water the flowers in the greenhouse. Thank you.
Interesting. Like, it's very rare for someone to ask their teacher to basically stop what they're doing and help him.
Only do not water the ones in that corner.
Why? Are you mad at them? Are those flowers offend you somehow?
They are from Dusker. They require a dry environment. The roots will rot otherwise.
I wonder how hard those are to grow, only because you'll have a lot of people. We actually had this up at work, where we had some flowers that were brought in, and they ended up drowning because everyone on staff kept watering them, and we're like, stop! They sound difficult to care for.
That is what makes them worthwhile. ... I owe you a debt of gratitude.
I haven't done anything yet.
In both the extracurricular activities here at the Academy and on the battlefield.
That could be misinterpreted.
Your presence has been instrumental in the defense of His Highness. You have my sincerest thanks.
I think nothing of it.
To me, it is not nothing. ... Was there something else you wanted?
I want to trade ellipses with you.
Then please, excuse me.
Alright, we've also got level 1 with Ash. I wonder if we had this before and it only unlocked now that we had that mission. It's possible.
Oh, shopping took longer than I thought. It's a good thing I had your help, Professor.
It certainly is. What?
Looks like we've got everything we came for. Time to head back to the monastery. To tell you the truth, I wasn't sure if the money that night gave us would be enough.
But you used your expert haggling ability?
We managed to scrape by, though. I'm glad those shopkeepers were willing to strike a few bargains.
I think I may have seen this one already. I can't remember.
It's one of the few things I'm really good at. I've got a lot of experience living in the city. Money was tight for me, too. At least until Lenato adopted me into his family.
Again, I wonder if this happened beforehand or not.
Come to think of it, you were originally a mercenary, weren't you? I'm sure you've traveled all over Fodlan.
I mean, to a lot of places, but most of them don't have great memories.
That must have been a pretty different life from regular folks like me.
I mean, you just travel everywhere. The only difference is you have a sword.
Huh, you think so? But a mercenary's whole job is fighting, isn't it? Must be a pretty tough way to live.
It wasn't so bad. It's all in who you know.
Wow, I guess you must get used to it. That's really incredible, though. Oh! I had no idea they sold this book around here. I haven't seen this one for
Hi,
ages.
Anna.
Lug and the Maiden of Wind. It's a well-known tale of
Oh,
chivalry
yeah.
and Fargus.
What? Do you really need to buy that? Don't you know it by heart by this point?
Lug is the King of Lions. This book is full of his exciting adventures.
Is he the king of red lions? I think I've written inside Lug.
I've loved this since I was a kid. It was what got me learning to read.
Okay, that does make sense. For a second, I was like, how can you want to learn to read based on a book that you already can read? But no, I'm sure you just heard it and you want to... Yeah, okay.
Give me that book!
Hey, creep. Don't touch the merch. What the? Somebody catch that thief. Cut him in half like my prices.
God damn it, Anna!
Please, calm down, ma'am.
You calm down, kid. If he gets away with that valuable merch, it'll be a huge loss for me.
Here, allow me to compensate you.
Yeah, what?
Huh? Are you serious, kid? I mean, no objections over here. But that sounds crazy.
Don't you worry. That thief will be paying me back just as soon as I catch him. Head on back to the monastery, Professor. I'll take care of everything here.
That's an interesting idea. It's like, okay, I'll pay for the book, and then I will go and get repaid by the thief and also have the book. But you're assuming the thief has money. Alright. Man, we're going to be here forever, guys. And I don't mind.
Good evening, Professor. Returning from work, I take it?
You know it. Actually, I'm still working. I think I've seen this already.
Goodness, it's so late in the evening. That must be exhausting.
Try
not to overtax
Yep, I have seen this before.
The goddess won't... Listen it to be perfect. At first, I thought you're struck, but it almost... If that's how the mod and Mike...
Okay.
Oh, just the... anyway, if you do, that
Yeah,
reminds me
I've
of
already seen this.
whatever you need, just say the word. I look forward to
This is the problem because I got pretty close to a lot of these people in my previous playthrough, so I've already seen their links. I wish it would like have some way of denoting you've already seen something because I loaded the data so it should know.
That's the third time this month. Well, that's that. Father never relents.
I don't think I've seen this one.
Oh, Professor. Hello. Did you need something?
Yeah, what was that?
Well, that is... I was just tossing out something I have no need of. It's important to keep our spaces clean after all. You'd do well to remember that too, Professor. A clean space makes for a clean mind, or some such.
Okay.
Getting rid of things you have no need for is the first step to managing one's belongings in an economical way.
Like, neither of these really make sense. I'm not going to ask her to come to my room. That's weird.
Does that surprise you? Perhaps it seems ill-befitting someone of noble birth to care about such things. Despite my family's nobility, we've never been particularly wealthy.
Well, then you're not very good nobles, aren't you? That's the whole point.
So my father raised me to be conservative with my resources, paring down when necessary. He also encouraged me to keep my living spaces immaculate, so the two go hand in hand, I suppose. I think he'd be happy to hear you say that.
But I just overheard that you're not in super good terms with your dad.
Oh, it was already written on, so no good for note-taking. And obviously, I can't use it to clean my lance. So I tossed it. No need to hang on to inconsequential things, you know.
I missed what it was. Oh, just scrap of paper.
Professor, did you come to check on me for any particular reason?
I mean, not anything untoward if that's what you're accusing me of.
I hope Sylvain and Felix aren't getting into trouble as they tend to do. Oh, well, if there's nothing important, I'll be on my way then.
Okay, so I am interested to know what's really going on with her and her
I
dad.
still have some cleaning to take care of, after all. Talk to you later, Professor.
Okay, so Dorothea, Bernadette, and Marianne. So I can act... So Bernadette I may not have seen yet.
Thank you, Lady Bernadetta. I will take my leave.
Oh, good. Bye! Goodbye! Finally. Oh, that was awful. Just terrifying.
Yeah, what's terrifying? Talking to people?
Please don't sneak up on me like that.
I was actually in front of you. You like turned maybe like 30 degrees.
That lady asked me to show her around. I tried to be polite, but strangers are just so nerve-wracking.
Yes, she has. I'm actually lying.
Now that you mention it, I think you're right. I don't know if I ever had felt scared around you. I wonder why. You know, Professor, you might be the first person I've been able to speak to normally since I got here. And I have no idea why.
Interesting.
I'm happy about it too. When we first started out here, we had to do drills. Outside. I skipped those every chance I got. It's a terrible idea going out in the forest with all these people you don't even know. Thanks to you, though, I can actually make it through class now. I'm grateful for that.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it.
I don't know what I'd do if you weren't here.
Well, don't worry. The campaign literally ends if I die. That is the weird thing about casual is that largely can actually go down and the mission continues.
I am okay. I'm doing just fine. I feel safe here, thanks to you.
Oh wow, that's what?
What? You saw that? Why would you see that? You were watching me?
I mean, I was hearing you.
That crosses the line, Professor. Singing? Me? Why would I be singing? I'd never be singing. I've never been so humiliated. Useless, worthless, unmarriageable.
Okay. I think Bernadetta is hilarious. And I am really looking forward to playing the Black Eagles to get deeper into that. Because I don't think I'll get that deep into Bernadetta in this one. Because she's really not going to follow me into a lot of battles. Okay. Kitty. So Dorothea, I'm just going to skip straight past. Because I know I've gotten her all the way to the end. And same thing with Marianne.
Dear God.
Alright, that takes care of that. Now, wow, Dedue and Felix can only go to rank B. Dedue does not like them.
Hold a moment, dog.
Really?
Are you speaking to me?
I don't see anyone else here, do you? You're that boar's lapdog.
Do not mock His Highness.
Yeah, Felix, have you been in battle lately? Dedue is definitely the one carrying all the weight. I would not get on his bad side.
Spoken like a good pet. Why do you follow him with such devotion? Do you really think a man like that is worth it?
Fargus destroyed my homeland. Burned it all to the ground. Slaughtered my people.
The punishment of Duscur.
My father, my mother, my sibling, all were killed. We received no aid, no respite. Fargus murdered our dignity and torched our pride. His Highness is different. He is the only one who sees my people as human.
Interesting, is that... don't take this the wrong way, but that seems like not a whole lot to get such devotion out of Dedue.
He risked his life to save mine.
Okay, that makes more
and
sense.
It is thanks to him that I no longer wish for death.
That's what we call blind obedience. Tell me, would you give your life for him?
Yes.
And what if he commanded you to join him in a senseless massacre?
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
I would do it.
Even a massacre of children, or the elderly, or your own comrades.
I mean, maybe not, although I would have less misgivings about you, Felix.
Without hesitation. You have misunderstood me. I am the sword and shield of His Highness. Weapons do not have a will of their own.
Mostly the shield. And actually not at all the sword, you use an axe.
Blind obedience. You're right, I did misunderstand. I shouldn't have called you a lapdog. You're a rabid cur. You and the Boar Prince make quite a team. Two crazed animals.
I warned you not to mock His Highness. I am aware you have a history of friendship with him, but one more word.
I've said my piece. Scamper back to your master.
Interesting. I am really curious why Felix is so about Dimitri. And we'll find out in this playthrough. The dude does not get along with a lot of people.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I'm not bothering you. Looks like you're pretty deep in thought.
Does it?
I just wanted to stop by and ask. It was your turn to cook last night, yeah?
Yes.
Well, it was great. I was wondering if you could give me some tips. You know, teach me how to cook.
That's actually very much not where I thought this was going. They must have a hard time figuring out what to have Sylvan talk to boys about.
I hear a girl loves a man who can cook.
Sylvain.
Yeah?
I do love that his name is literally Sylvain. Like, vanity is built in.
You are from Fargus. You must understand how it appears for you to spend time with one from Dusker. To be near me is to invite tedious misunderstanding.
Oh, please. I don't care who misunderstands what about me. I talk to who I want. Besides, I believe the Dusker people are innocent.
Of what?
You do?
Fargus and Dusker have been friendly since, heck, forever. So why would our old friends from Dusker just up and assassinate our king? It doesn't make sense. Sure, there are probably folks from Dusker who don't like Fargus. But do I think there's enough of them to mount an attack and slaughter the king and his whole company of elite guards?
It is difficult to believe, considering the discrepancy in skill and number.
Well, if they were a company of Dedus, they could do it.
Right? At most, I can see a misguided group of people from Dusker conspiring with someone else who had plans to dethrone the king. Maybe they were even lured into participating and used as scapegoats.
Well, Sylvan is actually a lot smarter than you give him credit for. I say you instead of I, because I don't do anything wrong.
Regardless, it doesn't concern you or the rest of your people. A person can't be judged by the worst of their kind. Or where would any of us be?
That is very incredibly correct.
Besides, people like to talk about me anyway, so let them talk. Okay, you're making a weird face. What did I say?
I have misjudged you. I was under the impression you only cared about women.
I do feel like that's an impression that Sylvain very specifically and explicitly cultivates.
Well, I'm glad I've cleared up that misunderstanding. But really, there's no way I'm the only person who figured all that out. There must be people who think like me in Ferdiad, including His Highness.
Agreed. But whatever the truth, we are still perceived as traitorous assassins.
I'd at most give you assassins, not traitorous.
Once a misunderstanding takes hold, it isn't easy to clear the air. Not without solid evidence of the truth. But even if we found evidence that your people are innocent, those negative sentiments wouldn't disappear overnight. The only thing that can change that is time and effort. Depressing, isn't it?
Time and effort. Yes, I believe you're right.
Man, that got serious. Shouldn't we lighten things up with a nice cooking lesson?
Very well.
Alright, next up, Mercedes. I hate that it doesn't really, because people are like, oh yeah, these people don't have a link. You should check that. And I'm like, you can't check that. I don't think. Actually, maybe you can, because Flayn and Shamir show up as possible to-dos. I was thinking it wouldn't even show them as options until you recruited them. I guess that's not true.
Dear Goddess, please protect us.
Mercedes.
Oh, Dedu. Was there something you needed?
His Highness sent me to collect you.
Collect? Wow.
I see. I'll be with you in just a moment. I'm almost finished here.
You were praying.
I was. Praying for everyone's safety.
And it's rude to interrupt a conversation between a god and her priest.
And praying for good desserts tonight. And that my next exam goes well.
The Fodlan goddess will accept prayers of any sort.
It's true. I've thought the same thing myself. That reminds me, Dedu. Weren't you born in Dusker?
Is it just the dark skin that denotes? Well, no, because Shamir was also born away.
Yes.
Do the people of Dusker pray to the goddess too?
Dusker had a very different view of religion.
Oh?
In Dusker, there were many gods. The sky had a god. The earth had a god. We made offerings to the war god for victory in battle. Held feasts for the sea god to calm the waves.
So your people prayed to different gods depending on what they needed?
That does remind me of a really, really cool thing. This was actually in Dragonlance that I read when I was a teenager. But in that one, it was really interesting. Because, like, there would be people that would pray to the goddess of healing and also the god of disease. For healing, they would ask for the disease to be cured, but for the god of disease, they would ask for the, him to remove his touch. So it was interesting. You'd, like, almost every thing you would end up praying to two different gods at the same time.
Correct.
Your beliefs sound so different from ours. Tell me more.
Tell me more, tell me more.
Why? Dusker is a ruin.
Dusker may be gone, but you're still here. Would you tell me more about it the next time we meet?
You can find her in the chapel always.
If you insist.
Really? That would be great. I'm looking forward to hearing more soon.
Dusker is gone, but I'm still here.
That should be a song. Alright, we're almost done with Dedu. Knock out Ingrid and we move on to our next victim.
No.
Good.
Brief and to the point.
I'd have cut my way through, alone, without your assistance.
Oh, that's right. Ingrid doesn't like Duskarians.
My apologies.
Your apologies are empty. I spoke out of turn. I'm sorry, Dedu.
Well, it's not really your fault. He takes his turn and does ... so you can't really tell when it's over.
His Highness has put his faith in you. You're a valuable comrade, no matter my feelings. The people of Dusker...
Save your breath. There were countless people like you in the capital. People who spat, threw things, insults and stones alike, whenever they pleased. Their anger was natural. I do not begrudge them.
Dedu is such an interesting character. Now, maybe it's because I just keep seeing him back to back to back, but...
I see.
You owe me no apology, and I will keep my distance on all other occasions. But on the field of battle, allow me to aid you. If you were to fall, His Highness would grieve.
I don't care about you, but it would hurt him.
I see. Then I will accept your help on the battlefield.
Understood.
Alright. Next up is... I guess we'll go do our normal circle. So, Ash and Dimitri.
This tent is torn. Can you please fix this one first, Ash?
Absolutely.
Sorry. I should probably take care of it myself, but we'd be here until sundown if I...
You're inside, you know.
No problem at all. I've had lots of practice with things like this. Happy to help however I can.
Oh. Well, thanks. Actually, I'll fetch you something to make the job less of a burden. You like sweet things, right?
Oh, okay, don't bribe him after the fact. Oh, actually, go ahead.
Well, yes. Sorry, no. I can't ask you to do that.
You literally didn't ask.
Ash, I told you, there's no need to act like that.
I can't have someone from the royal family running errands for me. It doesn't feel right.
I really don't mind, so you needn't worry about that. And while I'm being candid, I'd prefer it if you didn't speak so formally to me. We're supposed to be allies. We fought side by side as equals, haven't we?
I know, but to commoners like me, you're royalty. Regular folks normally only lay eyes on someone like you once or twice in their whole lives.
Well, you're not normal, Ash. You joined the winning team now.
I understand. I really do. When I ascend the throne, perhaps I should do a tour of each city.
What? No, that's not what I meant.
I'm at a loss. I wish to make things better, but I seem to only upset you more and more. That is certainly not my intention. Perhaps I should leave you be and take care of our shopping.
Please, I promise I'll go myself just as soon as I finished with the tent.
Ash, enough!
Poor Dimitri.
Okay. I have a question. Answer me this. I don't normally eat sweets. So what would you recommend?
Oh, well, if price isn't a concern for you, then you should go for the sugar candies. The ones they make in town are really delightful. Oh, Your Highness, please, you mustn't.
Got it. Sugar candies it is. I'll go and fetch some.
Your Highness, please come back. I'm so sorry. I'll make sure these repairs get done.
Okay, that was adorable. They do a really good job of basically never making anyone look the bad guy. Although not always. Hilda definitely didn't look very interesting or like a good person early on. And Felix is kind of doing the same thing.
I must have left it in the library. Oh, is that Felix? Hey, Felix. This is a surprise. I didn't think you had much interest in books. I'm already finished with that one. You can borrow it if you'd like.
No need. I was just curious who it belonged to.
Why not read a few pages at least while you've got it open? I think you'd really like it.
Felix is so dismissive of everyone.
The plot is pretty different from a typical knight's tale, but it's still really good. Do you like stories about adventure and chivalry?
No, I despise them.
Yeah, well, have you tried reading any? You might find them really interesting. I know I do.
Poor Ash. Ash is just like, yeah, do you use your opinion based on anything, or are you just an edgelord?
What do you find so interesting?
Well, for one thing, the knights in these stories are always gallant and brave.
You're not winning any points with that one.
And they always value things like friendship, loyalty, and justice. That's the kind of knight I want to be.
Ridiculous. Friendship, loyalty, justice. Only fools allow their lives to be ruled by such nonsense. Fools who get themselves killed for nothing. Only to be celebrated as heroes in books like this. Writers of these stories are worse than tyrants. They seize control of people's thoughts.
That's a little much. I was only interested in...
He's like, wow, that's a bit of a hard sell.
I don't care. Such blind enthusiasm is dangerous. Be more moderate in your passions.
Wow, you're kind of a dick, dude.
You know something, Felix? You are exactly like the knight in this story.
God damn it, Ash. Stop being a bubbling optimist all the time.
Excuse me?
On the surface, he's sarcastic and intimidating, but underneath, he's kind and cares for his friends.
Wow, that struck Felix to the quick.
In the end, they become heroes together and conquer all obstacles.
Disgusting. Stop looking at me like that.
Oh, see, right there. That's just what I mean. You sound exactly like him. I'm going to lend you this book. Really, I insist. Just give it a read, all right?
That's something like people are always like, hey, you should just do that. I'm like, I don't have time.
Trust me, and you can tell me what you think when you're done.
Why is this happening?
Okay. I don't really usually like Felix, but that was a really, really good support. I approve.
Oh no, this isn't right. Now what am I supposed to do?
What's the matter, Mercedes?
I accidentally made this food much sweeter than I wanted.
You just became Ash's best friend.
Let me taste it. Yeah, a little sweet. What if we try adding a few spices?
Huh? This is delicious. You're an amazing cook, Ash.
My dad used to own a restaurant. I helped out a lot around the kitchen, even as a little kid.
It's interesting that Ash and Dedue didn't talk about cooking then, if they're both the, like, main cooks.
Wow, that's a lot of responsibility to take on at an early age. No wonder you always work so hard. I might learn something if I watch you cook.
Well, no promises. I just have a little bit of experience, that's all. But look at you, you're great at baking cakes.
It's true that I'm quite good at baking, but I'm not the best when it comes to seasoning. Maybe it's because I don't like spicy food? It's tough to make food taste good when you don't enjoy it.
That is very true.
I just had an idea. If the reason I can't cook spicy food is because I don't like it, then all I have to do is eat some spicy food. If I learn to like it, then I'll be better at making it right.
That is such a simplistic way of thinking of it, but it's adorable.
I don't know, maybe. What makes you say that?
No. None of that matters. Once I've made a decision, I have to go with it. I'll make something spicy right away.
Wow, that's an incredibly dangerous way of thinking. Nope, I thought about this for 1 second and I've made a decision. I'm not going to let logic and reason enter into it. I have made a choice.
Oh, this won't end well. If I leave her to it, she'll make an even bigger mess.
Hey, Ash, which seasonings should I use? These ones?
Hold on, Mercedes. Let me show you. That one goes best with meat, but for stir-fry, what you really want is this.
Ah, kitty. Oh, I was on a net. The cat was like sitting right at the edge, and he'd been there for a little bit, but I could like hear the dialogue, so it didn't matter. But now I was trying to pick out the next thing, and I was like, I can't see who's got the dots. Ash also is Casper, Petra, Marianne, Catherine, and Cyril. Okay, interesting.
Oh, Ash, are you here to study too?
I am. It's quiet here. Easier to concentrate.
It really is. Hey, would you like to study together? We can help each other out if we get
Aww.
stuck.
These two are just so, I don't know, shy and mousy and quiet and good together.
Oh, yes. We'll get a lot more done working together.
What's the matter, Ash?
This question's got me stumped. A ballista inside a castle is ready to fire at enemies outside. What angle should be used for the shot?
That depends on the height of the wall and the position of the ballista within the castle.
Assume the ballista is the same as those in Garreg Mach. Ignore the effects of wind. This is for defensive strategy, isn't it? Why is it so complicated? Don't you just aim and fire?
Not when there's walls in the way.
It may help to focus on maximizing target accuracy to reduce your miss rate. To start, let's sort out the setup. Let's see. Using these ballista specifications, if the ballistic whirls follow this trajectory, they'll hit the enemy lines, right?
Oh, that makes sense, because the enemy line will be here.
That's it! Okay, now try using that same technique and applying it to this other problem.
And that's a genius, you guys.
If the walls are this high, and the enemy lines are at that distance... Oh, I think I see!
I knew you'd get it.
Wow, I didn't expect math of all things to be useful in a siege.
Well, it's way more useful than linguistics.
This is tough. Numbers are not my strong suit. But this really is the sort of thing you have to know if you want to command troops.
That's true, but not everyone is good with numbers.
Yeah, look at Raphael.
That's why we have tacticians do these calculations for us, or prepare them before we go to battle. A century ago, the Empire's mathematicians played a huge role in the Battle of the Wall of Fodlan.
Interesting.
I had no idea. Hey, you really know what you're doing, Annette.
You think so?
Definitely. You've obviously done a lot of studying. I really admire that.
I suppose I have. Studying is a necessity if you want the advantage over your enemies. But necessity aside, it's nice to hear you say that.
Alright, and Ash and Dedue are both done. Now we're down to Mercedes, who frankly is the one that's like boring me the most. Of everyone in the group, she's just like soft-spoken and nice.
goodness. Sword training again today? Don't overdo it, all right?
For some reason, I thought I was like, have I already seen this? I'm like, no, I can't have seen this because I definitely never had Dimitri in my party.
I certainly won't, but thanks for your concern, Mercedes. It's more of a hobby than anything, so don't worry too much.
A hobby? How wonderful! I would probably get tired of it, but that's just me.
Didn't you say you hope to take the sword test soon?
Oh, did I say that? Were you listening? I'm not used to people listening to me.
You're right. I completely forgot that's coming up. What should I do?
To be honest, I've been a bit worried as I haven't seen you at the training ground much.
Why didn't you say something sooner if you were so worried about me?
It didn't occur to me that you could have forgotten. But you're right. I should have mentioned it. As an apology, why don't you let me help you with your swordsmanship?
You would do that for me? I'd really appreciate your help.
Okay, but keep in mind that since we're short on time, we may have to overdo it a little.
I don't like to overdo it, but if we must, I'll try my best.
It's settled. Let's begin. Don't tell me you've forgotten how to hold a sword. We have our work cut out for us.
Holy shit, are you serious? I mean, like, Dimitri's not all that great with a sword either, because I've had him using a lance the whole game.
I usually just hold the sword without thinking about my grip, you know? Let's see what happens now that you've shown me the proper way to handle it. I was nervous at first, but just look at me now. Yeah!
Well, I didn't realize offering to help you would mean risking my life.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I just meant to swing the sword. I didn't think it would go flying like that. I'm impressed with how quickly you can dodge.
Wow, that's even better. I thought that she, like, swung and it's like, oh, I forgot I had a sword. I was just, like, technique. And then, no, she dropped it.
Yes, I know you didn't intend to murder me. Though that scare likely took years off my life.
Maybe I'm not cut out for this whole sword fighting thing.
Nonsense. It's far too early to give up. The first time I picked up a sword, I was much like you. It's true that different people are better suited to different things. But if you keep at it and refuse to give up, you're certain to improve.
That is true, I admit.
Do you really think so? Thank you, Dimitri. It's very kind of you to... Oh, there's a rip in your cuff, Dimitri. How do you think...
It seems I didn't dodge your sword fast enough. Don't worry, I can easily repair it.
I'm the one who tore it, so I'll be the one who mends it. How does that sound?
No, please, don't worry yourself over it. Just focus on your exam.
Yeah, it sounds like you really need help. And Felix. I feel like I may have actually seen this one, but I'm not
Here
sure.
you go, Felix.
Nope, I have not.
Some tea.
I remember there was one where, oh, it may have been Dorothea, where she kept trying to talk to him whenever he was training. He's like, will you go away?
Oh.
Sorry, but we're all out of cakes. Should I bake some more?
Please, don't.
Oh, your clothes are so dirty. Let me wash them for you.
Mercedes, what's wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just making tea. Is there something wrong with that?
You're not my mother. You don't have to bother with all this. I can do without it.
I don't think you can.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. You just remind me so much of my little brother.
I do?
Yes, his name is Emile. We have different fathers, but we grew up in the same household. That is, until I was about 8 or 9 years old. I haven't seen him since then.
Oh, that's sad.
Sorry to state the obvious, but I'm not your brother. I'm not Emile.
So I do have to say, and this just occurred to me, and I think it may be a problem with not necessarily with maddening, but with casual, because maddening Iron Man would be too much. We'd never make it through. But the other problem is that with this, at the end of the game, it's always kind of nice to see where people end up. It's going to be a little less of a surprise here because, like, the real interesting thing is as people die, then people shuffle. And I kind of thought about that because it seemed like before we went in, there's going to be a certain way, and then, like, for example, Lorenz and Hilda looked really, really, really close together, and at the end she didn't end up with anyone because I'm headcanoning she, had fallen for Lorenz. But Lorenz died. And here we're never going to have anything like that. So I do now, I just abruptly thought of this, but I do think we'll probably go back to Hard Iron Man for future playthroughs, because I do actually like that.
Can't you find someone else to bother?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll leave you alone. Please help yourself to more tea if you'd like. I can leave the pot. Goodbye.
I am me, Felix Hugo Fraldarius. There is no one else.
Wait, again, the cat's in the way. I am me. Okay. Are you talking to your shadow?
Brother.
Alright, nothing down there. Interesting. Okay, so she has Lorenz, Ignatz, and Hilda. And Ferdinand, but for the most part it seems like she's more into the Golden Deer.
Mercedes, you look divine as always. Are you off to pray?
Oh, hello, Sylvain. I was just on my way to pray. How did you guess?
Because you literally do nothing else because you're boring as shit. I mean, no reason.
Well, because I've been watching your lovely...
Oh, I get it. You're the type who's always looking at girls, aren't you?
Called out.
I won't lie, I do enjoy beholding women, but I don't mean it like that with you. I know I sound like a dope, I think you're special.
Oh, really? You think I'm so clumsy that I need someone to watch over me. Is that why you can't take your eyes off me?
Interesting, she's being much more snarky than I usually see.
You're beautiful, and I mean that. You're... how can I put it without sounding even worse? Okay, here goes. I want to get to know you better. As friends, I mean.
I don't know where to begin.
I don't believe him.
Well, what's something you like?
I like to pray. I've been praying regularly since I was a child.
I'm really, really good at it.
You grew up in the Empire, didn't you?
That's right. I was raised in House Bartels.
Bartels? I thought you were born to House Martreats.
It's a complicated story.
I got time.
I'm not sure that it's a very interesting one, but I'm happy to share it with you.
I don't mean to be nosy, if it's too personal.
Oh no, I don't mind. I wasn't trying to hide anything from you. House Martreats fell shortly before I was born.
Oh.
How would people not know that House Martreats isn't around anymore?
My father, after I was born,
Crap.
my mother ended up marrying the head of House Bartels.
My father passed away. My mother was still pregnant with me, so she had nowhere to go.
Shortly after, my mother bore a true Bartels child who bore a crest. She and I were treated as though we were no longer useful to the family after that.
Interesting. Why? Like, I get why you might not be, but she is now, like, a legitimate, she's like the mother of the heir.
You think the Bartels were just using her to secure a crest?
They must have been. My mother and I were removed from the family and forced to flee to a church in the kingdom.
Oh, I see. Actually, the crest of her family, not the crest of the Bartels.
I abandoned the Bartels name and took up our old family name again.
So you grew up in a church. Okay, it makes more sense now why you're praying all the time.
Yes, oh, praying! I forgot that I was on my way to pray.
Like, that's literally all you do.
Right. And I interrupted you. Well, see you around, Mercedes.
Yes, see you.
House Bartels wanted a crest and ruined other people's lives to get one. These idiots are all the same.
Interesting. Sylvain is actually impressing me quite a bit, in terms of not being the idiot I thought he might be.
Apologies for my late arrival, Mercedes. My duties ran long, as per usual.
There's no need to apologize at all. Please, have a seat.
So what are you two doing?
We've met for tea so many times, but you never seem to get used to it, do you, Ingrid?
Not entirely, no. I'm not accustomed to being treated so delicately.
Well, you deserve it, lady.
Anyway, what will we talk about today?
I actually wanted to gripe about something that's been bothering me.
You? Gripe? Now that's unusual. I'm happy to listen, of course. It's the least I can do after all the kindness you've shown me.
Thank you. The one thing I really wanted to talk about is marriage.
Oh, Mercedes, you proposing?
Oh?
Yes. I received a letter from my adoptive father about marriage discussions with a noble family.
And will you accept?
I mean, which noble family? That's the first question.
That's the problem. No matter what I decide, I'll probably be married off anyway. What I really want to do is help those in need. But I think it would be more difficult to do so if I married a nobleman.
I mean, maybe. I don't think so, though.
Understandably so. Sounds to me like you need a strategy to silence your father.
We need to silence your father. For good.
Sorry? To silence him?
Don't you agree? It seems the best course of action would be to consider severing all ties with the family and running away.
Good lord, Ingrid! You just went from, like, 0 to 8 billion. Oh, geez, someone's calling me. Hello? Okay, guys, I'm back. Wow. Take back my slight frustration. That was definitely a call that needed to happen. Although, actually, not really. When I went back to work in order to deal with the situation, the person didn't understand what she was looking at. So, kind of both.
We don't need to go that far.
Yeah, that is a bit extreme there.
I'm sorry. I really just needed to let that out. I don't need you to worry about solving my problems.
What's her name? Ingrid? Ingrid. That is interesting. There's actually a lot of truth in that, where people will end up, what I'm trying to say. People will, very often when women speak of their problems, they're not looking for someone to fix the problem. They just want people to understand and empathize with the problem.
Oh, okay. It's just a bit personal for me, actually.
Oh, who did you run from?
My own father has brought countless marriage proposals to my attention. He always was obsessed with me carrying on the family bloodline. At a very young age, my hand had already been promised to someone in marriage. But Glenn died young.
Interesting. I wonder if Glenn will ever come up again.
That must have been difficult for you. Would you have married him if he had survived?
That's a good question. It's hard to imagine now.
I'm sure you would have, only because you wouldn't have necessarily... Like, when it's that young, you're just like, okay, I'm marrying this person. And you would have never really questioned it. Unless you just really had no interest.
Although I did admire him quite a lot. He held true to the ideals of knighthood, proudly serving the king.
See, as long as she respected him, she wouldn't have thought twice.
Even after all these years, I aspire to be the type of knight that he embodied. But that's just it. I'm not a tool for furthering my family's fortunes. I'm a knight at heart, regardless of what my father desires.
I see. A very noble cause indeed. How strange that we should be worrying about the same thing.
Well, to be fair, she stopped worrying about it a long time ago.
Even though we are such different people.
It's true. Enjoying a nice chat over tea with you like this makes me realize maybe the paths we walk aren't so different after all. Don't you think?
It's interesting that she's obsessed with tea. Does that mean when I eventually get the tea option, it'll be by talking to her instead of Lawrence?
I do. These tea parties of ours, they really are something special.
That they are. Ingrid, I would love to get to know you better if that's okay. I want to know about your childhood, your favorite books, the sweets you like, anything at all.
Absolutely. I'm happy to speak with you anytime. And I want to know you better too, Mercedes.
That was heartwarming. That was just nice to see. Okay, almost done with Ingrid. No, I just finished Mercedes. I got confused because Ingrid was also in there. So yeah, Catherine's showing up on a couple of them. Raphael. Oh yeah, she's like, geez, this guy.
That was quite a sigh. What's wrong, Ingrid?
Tell me, Sylvain, what am I to you?
I mean, a stranger at this point. This is literally your first time talking.
You're my friend. One of my oldest, in fact.
Well, okay, never mind. Maybe not.
An old friend, is it? Then why must I clean up the casualties left behind by your skirt chasing?
Well, because you don't wear a skirt, obviously.
Nobody asked you to do that. Heck, I thought you enjoyed it. Besides, you're real good at it. I'm excited to continue working with you.
God damn it, Sylvain.
Do you mean to imply you have no intention of acting a bit more respectably?
Please don't yell like that. Everybody's staring at us.
When you were 8, you came on to my sweet, sweet granny. My granny!
Has he ever come on to you? That's the real question. Do you feel slighted on that in that respect?
Come on. I was 8 and she was That was a long time ago.
Sylvain hit on Ingrid's grandmother? Wow.
Well, Sylvain will hit on anything with legs. You know what? And the only reason I can say that is because there are no girl paraplegics in this game to test out the leg theory.
People can hear you. Please be quiet.
When you were 10, we went to that harvest festival, and you started making eyes at a scarecrow.
A scarecrow?
Wait a second. That was just an accident. A tragic, tragic accident.
When you were 15, you sought, relentlessly might I add, to involve yourself with Lord Gwendol's daughter. Who do you suppose made peace with the furious Lord despite having nothing to do with it? Me. Always me, always for you. Every time.
Okay, this is actually really interesting. I'm glad to see this.
What a jerk.
Oh, she is wearing a skirt. I was incorrect.
You know what? This conversation is over. I'm done.
My point is that this has to end. Not later, but now.
Fine. I promise I'll try to change. Are you happy now?
We both know you don't mean that. Yet. Alright, and oh wow, that she all the way she can go all the way to A with Felix. And hey, there's the double one.
Felix, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. Time for our tactics lecture. You'll be there, won't you?
Does he care about tactics or just swordsmanship?
Those things are such a waste of time.
That's kind of what I figured.
Nonsense. You're going to be there.
Must I?
Why is this such a chore? You went last time. Though you did all you could to disrupt things, as I recall. Brazenly rambling on about clear-cutting a nearby forest to secure a marching route. And attacking an enemy base, stealing their horses. You were incredibly disruptive, and even rude.
Well, he's kind of rude to everyone, then that's his thing.
I was offering my honest opinion.
Then, you left before we were finished. What do you suppose happened after that?
I have no idea.
Well, the conversation got quite lively.
Then why are you bugging him to go back? It obviously works better when he's not there. That actually reminds me, one of the best D&D sessions I ever had was when one of my players fell asleep. And we teased him relentlessly after that fact.
We all began breaking down the viability of your somewhat maniacal plan. And apparently, similar tactics have been used to turn the tides of historic battles.
That may be an exaggeration. Successful armies must be able to handle unexpected situations. That starts with weapon mastery and creative tactics.
If you didn't have so much battlefield experience, you wouldn't be capable of such unique strategies.
Does he have battlefield experience?
Which is why we need people like you. People who think creatively to lead the army.
Now you're just massaging my ego.
Well, I mean, it is very big.
When have you ever minded?
Fair.
We need you there. Just come on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Interesting. Not as good as the Sylvain one. The Sylvain one caught me off guard with how good it actually was. Wait, that's rank B? Wow. How do I have a rank B already?
Thank you for sparring with me, Your Highness. It seems despite how hard I've worked, I'm still no match for you.
Oh, there's no need for such humility. Thanks to all of your hard work, you're improving rapidly.
If you're going to praise me, it should at least be after I've won a match against you.
I mean, you can be praiseworthy before that.
You know, Ingrid, I may be the victor when we cross spears on foot like this. But on horseback, your handling of a lance is far superior. Can't I be allowed to have my own area of expertise?
No, she wants to beat you at everything.
No, I cannot allow that. It's my duty to get stronger, to fight with all I have in defense of the kingdom and its people.
Such high stakes. By the way, where did you learn that fierce jab of yours?
It's interesting, because if I remember correctly, she is actually a swords... I made her a swordswoman, not a spirit maiden.
I'm pretty sure the only other person I've seen perform that move is Glenn.
So you recognized it. Yes, he shared much with me.
I thought as much. I never imagined I would be on the receiving end of one of his techniques again. Glenn and I once studied under the same instructor. I've sparred with him more times than I can count.
Well, that's really sad, because... I mean, I can count to 1,000,000 if I needed to.
Yes. He was never short on praise for you.
I guess it's not really sad, but I feel like you should be able to count at least as high as that number is. So, I don't think the number is in the quadbillions. I think it's more that Dimitri just can't count very high.
Lord Dimitri is incredible. Such skill. There's no way I'll ever outmatch him. Things of that sort.
Well now, he never said any of that to me.
Well, he was Felix's brother.
Oh.
Our family's not big on displays of affection.
That's interesting.
That is true. We spent about as much time arguing as we did training. I can't believe it's been 4 years since the tragedy of Dusker. Since we lost Glenn, along with so many
wow,
others.
so her betrothed she lost just 4 years ago.
So it has. Time moves quickly. Things have changed so much. Despite the sorrow, I intend to become a powerful knight. A knight like yourself. And like Glenn. I will do so for the sake of my homeland, the holy kingdom of Fargus, and for all who have died protecting it.
It's interesting.
To that end, I hope you will spar with me again in the future, Your Highness.
Apparently, Felix's whole family is named after anthropomorphic animals. Because obviously, Felix is a very famous cartoon cat, and Glenn is the real name of Frog from Chrono Trigger.
It would be my pleasure. After all, I value our training sessions as much as you do.
Alright, there goes Ingrid. Oh, we got one with Cat. That's interesting.
That was my worst mistake yet. Why am I so clumsy all the time? The women laughed and forgave me, but... Oh, how am I supposed to face them now?
Not that big a deal.
Hey there, Annette. What's with the sour face? Everything okay? I don't think I've ever seen you look so miserable.
Don't tease me like that, Caspar. Can't you see I'm down?
Oh, it's Caspar. Wow, I've been saying his name wrong the whole time.
Sorry. You know I didn't mean it. Did something happen? You don't have to share if you don't want to, but I think talking it out might help.
You might be right about that. Are you sure you don't mind?
He probably wouldn't have offered if he did.
Not at all.
Well, today they were short on staff in the dining hall, so I offered to help out.
They don't know you at all, do they?
But I sort of messed up. Big.
Oh no. What happened?
All the plates in the kitchen went flying through the air, and the pots started giving off this weird blue steam.
Wow, sounds more like art than cooking to me.
The people in the dining hall saw the chaos and started panicking, and then soldiers came running. Finally, Catherine appeared and shut everyone up with a slash of Thunderbrand.
Okay, you don't need to pull out Thunderbrand for a freaking, like, overcooked meal.
All I was trying to do was help out. But in the end, I just ended up making more work for everyone. I'm awful like that.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. Accidents happen. It's not like you were trying to make a mess.
I know. The women at the dining hall laughed and forgave me. But...
Was anyone hurt?
Well, no, but...
Well, there you go! No need to dwell on it and keep moping around. You had a bad day, but I'm sure you'll do better tomorrow.
You had a bad day. You took a one down.
You know what? You're right. I guess all I can do is try harder next time.
If they let you have a next time.
Thanks, Caspar. That really did help me feel better. I can't keep moping around. I've got to work on my cooking skills.
Damn right.
And I can count on you to be my taste tester, right? Right.
Sure. Just as long as you're not making any new art projects.
All right, and then we also have Dimitri and Grumpy Man.
Today's dinner is steak and then a cake that's yummy yum. Now it's time to fill my tummy tummy tum.
Well, this would be what I would hate about being a voice actor, where there's something like, and yeah, you sing this, I'm like, I what?
Oh, this mountain of sweets and treats that I long to eat. Oh, stacks of steaks and cakes and crumbs and yums.
Yeah, like, but what tune even is this?
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Wow, you're out of the training hall. What the hell?
Felix, you were listening, were you?
I heard enough to know that you're hungry.
No, I mean, well, yes. At least tell me you didn't see the dance.
I didn't see the dance!
You have nice footwork. Get something to eat. I can take over watering the plants.
These plants have been watered twice this episode.
You're evil, Felix!
And you're shouting.
You can't just spy on people while they're singing without even saying anything. It's not right.
You shouldn't be singing in public places if you don't want people to hear.
I actually did call out that I was coming in. It's not my fault you didn't hear.
Well, you need to speak louder then. Ugh, this is so embarrassing. And of course I was singing some silly food song I made up. I should have been singing about bears or swamp beasties.
I didn't realize there were songs about bears and swamp.
Well, if she's making it up.
That food song seemed to be close to your heart. Your stomach isn't far from your heart, after all.
Oh, you are the worst!
Huh. What was that about?
I think that's the most, like, human Felix has been in these.
I better water these plants. Wouldn't want them to get thirsty, or they might start singing too.
I almost expected him to start, like, humming it or something. Alright, and lastly, Dimitri.
Good morning, Your Highness. Getting in some early training, huh?
Oh, it's not too terribly early. And what about you?
Oh, I'm just going for my morning walk. Hey, maybe you'd like to join me. It's a great way to start the day.
Morning walk? Funny. Gustav always kept the same habit. You really do remind me of your father, Annette.
Alright.
I hear that a lot. Father was always busy with work, so he wasn't around much. But when he was home, he'd often take me with him for his walks.
He sounds like a good person.
Annette, something's been weighing on me. Something I've done terribly wrong. Your father, he worked tirelessly. I don't know if I ever saw him take a rest. I feel as though, in a way, we stole him from you.
Oh, that's actually... Dimitri is an incredibly caring person.
I'll admit, it was a bit lonely growing up. But I understand. Father loved his work. No one ever doubted that. Actually, I've been thinking recently that I'd like to talk to you more, Your Highness.
Oh? Any reason in particular?
Make you feel more guilty.
Father was a man of few words, both with myself and my mother. But sometimes he would tell me about you. So, you don't really feel like a stranger to me.
Her father must be dead.
In a way, it's like I've known you for a long time. Almost as though you're my big brother.
Your big brother?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I let that slip out. That was rude of me.
No, nonsense. I promise you, I don't mind at all.
I'm not sure.
It's certain that my days would have been filled with more fun if I'd had a little sister like you. What kind of things did Gustav tell you about me? I'd love to hear more on this topic.
Oh, he told you about me. Well, that's my favorite subject.
Do you really want to know? Well, for one, he used to tell this story about when you were a child and...
You know what? Never mind. I have a bad feeling about where this is going.
No, we have to go over it now.
How about you forget we had this talk all together? And don't mention it to anyone.
Well, I put it on a YouTube channel that a lot of people watch. Is that okay?
I'd better avoid the training grounds. I swear, His Highness never sleeps.
You're out late, Sylvain. Is it safe to assume you've been wildly carousing with women? I'm afraid that behavior simply will not do.
Depends on the woman.
Ah, Your Highness. Hello. No, I was not wildly carousing with women. There was only the one. Let's just forget you saw me. Agreed?
Unfortunately, I can't do that. It's time someone talked some sense into you. And it seems the task has fallen to me. Sylvain, I'm not saying you can't enjoy yourself at night. But you must learn the art of moderation. Again and again, you end up wandering the streets until the early morning.
I do have to wonder what Sylvain is running from, because I definitely feel like he's trying to distract himself from his life.
Okay, I get it. I don't need one of your lectures. I've got them all memorized anyway. I promise I'll be better in the future. I'll stop going out at night, I'll focus more on my studies, and in return, you'll go into town with me, and we'll invite some cute girls to dinner. Shall we shake on it?
The way your mind works absolutely confounds me. How did you even arrive at such a notion?
You need to get out more. Naive and uptight is no way to live your life.
Naive and uptight? Yes, well, compared to you, I imagine I'm downright run-of-the-mill.
I'm not so sure. Most men are experienced enough to know not to give a dagger to the girl they...
Will you never let that rest? It was many years ago. Perhaps a good knock on the head...
Wait, I want to know this story. Gave a dagger to a girl?
With your brute strength, a knock on the head could knock the life right out of me. You'd better watch that temper, Your Highness. So how about this? I'll try to behave, and you'll try to loosen up.
If I do as you wish, will you truly promise to improve your behavior?
What'd I just say? Of course I'll behave. A Knight of Fargus never goes back on his word.
Unless it's really important. Or are two girls involved?
What about you? I want to see you with a girl on your arm.
I am a man of my word. I will attempt to do as you ask. But you had better uphold your end of the bargain as well.
Seriously? Yeah, I'll believe it when he introduces me to the lucky girl. Oh, Dimitri, you always take even the silliest things so very seriously. This should be fun.
Alright. And then with Felix.
Hey, Felix, you free? You don't look very busy. Let's go find some girls to chat with.
Oh, this should be good.
Chat with them by yourself. You're interrupting my training.
Hey, come on. Don't talk like that. How long have we known each other?
Long enough, if you ask me. We only know each other because of our parents' friendship. I didn't have a say in it.
Is that how it went? Huh. I remember it more like you always following me around.
Well, he had an older brother at the time, and he needed friends.
Whenever there was something wrong, like you lost to your brother, or you fought with Dimitri, you'd come crying to me. You were so meek and pure back then. Cute even. Like a baby brother.
That's enough.
What?
I said that's enough!
Hey, sorry. I just came to see if you wanted to pick up some girls. I didn't mean to get on your nerves.
Look, you've been getting on my nerves for years. I've tried to be patient with you, but I'm tired of holding my tongue.
I'm surprised you ever tried, to be honest.
You're reckless in your personal affairs and in battle, and you're always prattling on about women.
Well, if a man sees a pretty girl, he can't just let her pass by without commenting. That's just rude.
God dang, Sylvain is so oblivious, it's almost cute.
You're insatiable. Do you ever stop? Certainly not to practice your sword technique. You always skip training.
I'm good with my other sword, though, if you know.
And you never consider how your actions hurt others, or how you hold them back.
That's never my intention. Come on, you know me better than that. I'm not really... Look, if that's the impression I've given you, then I'm sorry.
Alright, and Felix and Dimitri are the last one. Yep, doesn't have anything below that.
Hello, Felix. I see you're here to train as well.
Go away. Just looking at your face makes me want to retch.
Maybe we'll find out what their big deal is.
With that mouth of yours, you grow more like your brother every day.
Shut up. And stop walking around on your hind legs. You're not fooling me.
Does he blame Dimitri for the death of his brother?
I cannot fathom why you seem to hate me so.
Because I know what you really are. A beast, craving blood.
A beast craving blood, am I?
Yeah, I'm sorry, with everything I know of Dimitri, that just sounds stupid.
I assume you're speaking of the events 2 years ago. Last time we met outside the academy?
I am. The way you suppressed that rebellion, it was ruthless slaughter, and you loved every second.
Wait. But he already said that the last battle was his first time killing civilians.
I remember the way you killed your victims, how you watched them suffer. And your face, that expression, all the world's evil packed into it. That was our first battle. I remember it vividly. Oh, something wrong? Go ahead and deny it, you wild boar.
Why is it a boar of all things?
I deny nothing, Felix.
Well then. I suppose the Dimitri I once knew died during that slaughter in Dusker, along with my brother.
Perhaps you're right.
Hurry up and get out of my sight. I don't make a habit of talking to beasts.
Wow. What a way to end the episode. But we are ended. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. I will obviously do this off camera. I will see you at the battle in the catacombs. Assuming this plays out the same way, which I think it will. But boys. Apple pies.